My name is Oliver, and this is a story I never thought I'd have to tell. My wife, Lisa, and I were what many consider the perfect couple. Married for 7 years, our lives were filled with love, laughter, and plans. We lived in a cozy house in the suburbs, and everything seemed fine. The only thing that changed was when Lisa decided to join a local gym in pursuit of a healthier, more active life. I fully supported her. We were expecting that this choice would change our lives forever. For the first few months, everything was great. Lisa was happier and more energized, and I was proud of her achievements at the gym. Evenings were filled with conversations about her new friendships and what she learned in fitness classes. However, as time passed, I began to notice small changes that, at first, I could not identify. She started spending more time at the gym, justifying that there were extra classes or special training. Her workout clothes became more fashionable, and she began to pay more attention to her appearance before leaving the house. Sometimes she mentioned dinners with gym friends after practice, and although I believed her, an uncomfortable feeling began to settle in my chest. I tried to convince myself that it was just jealousy or insecurity on my part. After all, Lisa had never given me any reason to be suspicious, but over time, those early signs became impossible to ignore. She was on the phone longer, sometimes laughing at messages she didn't share with me. When asked about her days, she became evasive, giving vague answers. The intimacy between us began to wane, and I felt more and more like a stranger in my own home. The looks exchanged, the change in her habits, and the long phone conversations of people I'd never met began to weigh on my mind. The trust I had in Lisa began to falter, and the need to understand what was going on became an obsession. It was then that I made the decision to investigate further, to find out if my mind was playing tricks on me, or if there really was something wrong. I trusted Lisa, but something in the back of my mind told me I needed to act. With distrust taking over me, I started to pay more attention to details. The different perfume on Lisa's neck, the new sparkle in her eyes, the smile that seemed to keep a secret. Every gesture, every word of hers came to be scrutinized. I decided I needed to know more about these gym friends. I tried to be casual when asking questions, but Lisa seemed elusive. There was one name in particular that came up frequently: Tom, a sparring partner, she said was just a friend. But why then did her face light up so much when she spoke of him? Gradually, my suspicions turned into an open wound. I spent sleepless nights turning over in my mind every conversation, every look exchanged between them that I had witnessed. The puzzle pieces started to fall into place, but I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I started checking her cell phone when she wasn't around, looking for some clues. With each harmless message I read, I sighed with relief, but the restlessness did not leave me. My actions made me feel small and invasive, but I couldn't stop. The need to know the truth was like a flame consuming my insides. I decided to follow Lisa on one of her dinner nights with her gym friends. I parked at a safe distance and watched her walk into a restaurant. She was stunning, dressed in a way she hadn't worn with me in months. Tom was there, of course, beaming as he welcomed her. I watched them for hours, watching them laugh, touch each other lightly, exchange glances that went beyond friendship. I felt the ground open up under my feet. The suspicion had come true, but it still wasn't enough. I needed hard evidence, something irrefutable. The pain I felt was overwhelming, but the determination to discover the complete truth was even stronger. The investigation was just beginning, and what I was about to discover would be painful and full of surprises. The breakthrough didn't come all at once, but in parts, like a slow, painful symphony that played louder and louder. I was determined to uncover the truth, but each step seemed to drag me deeper into pain. I started by hiring a private detective, explaining my situation and why I suspected. He looked at me with those eyes already used to cases like mine, promising discretion and professionalism. The weeks that followed were a real torment. With each detective update, my heart sank a little deeper. Photos of Lisa and Tom together in different places, secrets shared, messages exchanged with words that weren't just friends. I got lost between reality and imagination, recreating in my mind the moments they had shared. The pain was almost physical, a dagger slicing through me, and the love I felt for Lisa began to be overshadowed by the betrayal. The detective got an audio or conversation between them, where they spoke openly about their relationship and how much they were in love with each other. Her voice, so sweet and familiar, saying those words to another man, was the final blow. I was devastated, but I still had to face the worst part, the confrontation. How could I talk to her about everything I discovered without completely breaking down? The revelation of Lisa's betrayal left an open wound in my soul. I was devastated, lost in a whirlwind of anger and sadness. But as the days passed, a new emotion began to rise within me, the need for justice, a cold and calculated revenge. Upon further research on Tom, I discovered that he was married. His wife, Sarah, appeared to be a loving and devoted woman, completely oblivious to her husband's treacherous character. I felt a twinge of sympathy for her, imagining the shock that awaited her. With newfound determination, I reached out to Sarah. Words were hard to come by, but I needed to tell her the truth. We arranged to meet at a cafe away from prying eyes where I could show the evidence. The look on Sarah's face when I told her was one of utter disbelief, followed by deep sadness. She looked at the photos and messages, each one like a stab in her heart. How could he do that? She muttered, tears streaming down her face. I trusted him. I loved him. Sarah, I know how you feel, I said. My voice filled with compassion. But we need to do something about it. We need to teach them a lesson. The flame of anger ignited in her eyes. She wiped away her tears and looked at me with determination. You're right, Oliver. They need to pay for what they've done. So we began to plan our revenge. Sarah and I became unlikely allies, bound together by a shared betrayal. We met regularly, exchanging information, working out a meticulous plan. We decided that revenge should be public, something that would humiliate Tom and Lisa and show the world their true nature. The perfect place for the confrontation would be the academy where it all began, a space filled with witnesses, including students, instructors, and administration. With evidence in hand, like photos and text messages, Sarah and I arrived at the gym at a busy time, determined to expose the betrayal. Adrenaline coursed through our veins, our hearts pounding with a mix of anger and nervousness. We walked into the gym, and I spotted Tom and Lisa, laughing and talking as if nothing had happened. My blood boiled, and I approached them with Sarah at my side. Tom, Lisa, I've yelled, drawing the attention of everyone in the room. I have something to show everyone here. Their expressions quickly changed from surprise to horror as they realized what was happening. Tom tried to speak, but I cut him off by showing him the pictures and reading some of the text messages. This is the true face of Tom and Lisa, I exclaimed. A brazen and despicable betrayal. The entire academy felt silent, eyes wide, faces shocked. Tom advanced towards me, anger in his eyes. You had no right to do this here, he yelled, pushing me. I pushed him back and the situation quickly turned chaotic. Students and instructors were screaming, trying to separate us. Sarah was crying, while Lisa begged for everyone to stop. Academy security intervened, separating us. The manager appeared, demanding an explanation. Between sobs, Sarah told everyone about the betrayal with the evidence displayed for all to see. Tom turned pale, his reputation and image tarnished in front of everyone. Lisa felt humiliated too, her pleas for forgiveness ignored. It's over, Tom. Sarah screamed, her tears of pain evident. I'm going to get a lawyer. Our marriage is over. Tom and Lisa were kicked out of the academy, their names tarnished, their lives in pieces. Sarah and I left the place feeling a mixture of relief and sadness. The next day, as I was packing my bags, Lisa's crying and pleading sounds reached me. Lisa was begging, asking for a chance to explain, a chance to mend what was broken. Oliver, please listen to me, Lisa sobbed, kneeling down in front of me, her eyes red and puffy. I never meant to hurt you. I was confused, lost. I need you. I stopped, looking at the woman I once believed had loved with all my heart. The pain in her eyes was real, but the betrayal was a deep wound, something I didn't know I could heal. Lisa, you destroyed everything, I said quietly with my voice shaky. I saw the two of you together in our house, on our couch. How do you expect me to forgive that? Lisa grabbed my hands desperately. I made a terrible mistake, but we can get through this, Oliver. We can rebuild. I'll do anything. I pulled my hands away, feeling a surge of sadness and anger. You should have thought of that sooner, I replied, with my voice hard. I can't stay. I can't trust you again. With those words, I closed my suitcase and walked towards the door. Lisa fell to the floor, a scream of agony escaping her lips. Oliver, please don't leave me, Lisa screamed. I stopped for a moment, looking back. The sight of Lisa defeated and desperate broke my heart. But I knew I had to be strong. I had to move on. I'm so sorry, Lisa, I said, with my voice breaking. But that's over. That was my story. I found out my ex-wife cheated on me with a guy she met at the gym. What would you have done in my place? Would you also have confronted them in front of everyone? If you found out about your wife's cheating, would you forgive your wife? I didn't forgive.